I think price is always on people's minds when it comes to engaging in a new partnership. And I will say, we are not going to be the lowest cost staffing provider. We're also not the highest. But what I would say is we ultimately save companies money in a different part of their P&L. So I'll often tell clients, they'll say, oh, so and so is at X percent. Like, why can't you match that? And then I go back through, here's everything that we're investing into the partnership and invested in our company. But there's another line on your P&L. So I'm not competing with the other agency and their markup and whatever the cents on the dollar is. What I'm competing against is your operational costs. Because if you're running at 5 to 15 openings and you haven't filled these or backfilled these in the last 6 months, how much is that costing you? How much does that cost you in overtime? How much does that cost you in turnover, in retraining? How much does that cost you in revenue that you can't get out the door because you're short these positions? So I just remind customers, I'm not trying to compete with our competitors' pricing. I know the value we can provide. Ultimately, we're just trying to help you save money on your P&L so that we can have a positive impact in filling your positions, reducing your turnover, improving your quality, and reducing your time to fill. And that does cost a lot more money than cents on the dollar with a markup. When I meet with a customer, I often want to understand their current operating reality. So I like to understand what are the challenges that they're facing? How does that impact them? What does that look like? How have they tried to fix that? And then ultimately, if they could quantify that in a cost. And so if we're talking to a plant manager, a production manager, an ops manager, they're going to know very well the cost that is imposed by not fulfilling these positions. So when we have that conversation, and my goal is to help reduce that cost, if I come back around at the end and we're having that pricing or budget conversation, it's very easy to relate it back to our original goal, which is to reduce their operational costs. What I will say is it drives me crazy when our teams have a conversation with a prospective company and they want us to send over terms. I'm like, do we even know what we're trying to solve for? I get they have one open position, but what are we trying to solve for? So I would say certainly getting in front of the customer, taking a tour of their facility, understanding their operating reality, and really trying to be a value provider beyond just this one position. Like, how can we help your operation move much smoother? And how can we reduce your costs in doing that?